This podcast is intended for educational purposes only. For our full disclosure, please visit us at nc-midwifery.com and our podcast page. Well, thanks for joining us for our special audio podcast only version. You can also listen to it on our YouTube channel.
All right, guys, welcome back to More About Birth. I'm here hosting by myself because Shannon had to run out to be with a client, hazards of the profession. So, but I'm really excited. I'm here with a special guest, Jennifer Ostler. She is a photographer and she has a special niche in what she does. So I'm really excited to tell you guys all about it today and to hear from her. So Jennifer, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me, Angie. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. So let's get started and tell me about just a little bit about your background and what got you into photography in general in the first place. What drew you to it?
Okay, so I am a mom, obviously, with a lot of kids, and I decided to get into photography because actually a friend asked me if I would shoot a boudoir shoot for her. And first I was like, what's that?
Yeah. What is that?
So then we started playing around with it, fell in love, and I was like, oh my gosh, how can I do this all the time? So then I just really looked into how it could be. Let me just say, guys, I'm a Capricorn, so... I can't do anything like part way. I have to like go all the way.
Okay.
So I started looking into mentorship and education, and I just really dove in. And long story short, here I am, and now I've worked with many women from every walks of life, body size, shape, color, and we have created some amazing art and some amazing images, and my soul is fed.
Aw, that's awesome. So for people that don't know, just give us a little bit of an overview of what boudoir photography is and what does that cover?
Okay, so most people would know it as those lingerie pics.
Okay, yeah.
But boudoir is so much more than that. So a lot of ladies get it because they want to like commemorate their body or you know, give it as a gift to their husband. But they find out when they get into it, it boosts confidence. It helps you love your body again, your curves, see yourself in another light. Because I feel like we do a lot of comparing internally to our sisters, to the TV, to the, you know, our friends. So I think it helps us pull away from that and see ourselves, you know, as the beautiful creatures that we are. So.
Yeah. I love that. And you know, this is just going to be such a new topic for people. But
Sure.
What do you love the most about it? Like, do you love the images that you get to create with people, or do you love what it does for women? Tell me a little bit about your passion in it.
So that's really tough because obviously I love the art of it. Like it's really fun to create new images, new looks, new lighting patterns. So that's really fun. But the part that feeds my soul the most, this is going to sound so bad, but when the women cry, when they see their images and they start crying, because in that moment I know that like I've touched their soul, right?
Yeah.
Like I've touched something in them that needed to be touched, that was hurting. Something that needed to feel love and light again. And knowing that I was able to create and hold a space for them to have that moment with themselves and with their body, that's so powerful. And okay, I'm not going to cry. Stop.
That's special.
Yeah, it's to be able to do that, I feel so blessed and so lucky. So I think that's probably my most favorite part.
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly this is something that really strikes a chord with a lot of women.
Yeah.
And is very powerful. So can you put your finger on that at all? Like what are those specifics that you think are touching people so deeply just doing a photography session?
I think it's the experience themselves. So they're going into it, and I always do a little exercise when we walk in the door. So we do a little exercise, and I like to release some of that bad imagery we have and leave it out the door. I have them throw it out into the boneyard, my front yard. Their coat of bad feelings.
Yeah.
And so then I bring them into the body safe space, as I call it, and then we get right to work. And throughout the whole process, I try to listen and be conscious of what they're bringing with them, you know? And when they do that, you can tell because they'll be like a little shy about some things, or, when we're posing, they'll want to cover a specific body part. It's just little subtle differences, and I'll see that. And then you can kind of see the story behind that, like, oh, mom bods aren't good. Or people don't like stretch marks. Or I need to be a size 3 because I have this muffin top. I'm a little nervous about it. And 90% of the women, because I have a questionnaire you do before you come in, 90% of the women mention their stomach.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay.
All of them.
Interesting. That's a high percentage.
Yeah, I think I would say it might even be more than 90%.
Okay.
I'm actually shocked when I don't see that.
Okay.
So, and I think a lot of that, again, has to go back to media and standards that are pushed on us through industry. And then I don't know about anybody else, but my own mother would stand in the mirror. And I remember her just making comments when she looked in the mirror like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm so fat. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I got a little bit of extra here. Oh, is that a wrinkle?
Yeah.
So, and I think we carry that with us. I think we do. I know that I do. Sometimes I'll see myself in the mirror. I'm like, we don't do that. We are kind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It is amazing how, we kind of do it almost unconsciously, but it's it's kind of the air that we breathe. I'm sure every single person listening can relate to a comment they made about themselves or a frustration, about what's going on with their body or something.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
It's definitely patterns. I think our brains are very designed for anything that we do repetitiously is going to be ingrained in. And I feel like it's just something that starts in middle school.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah. Well, and like you say at home, our daughter's watching us do this and complain about this and that. So and that's bad. I need to be more aware of that.
We all do, girl. I preach it and I still catch myself because it's just ingrained, you know? And so, I try to teach my kid little affirmations. I don't know if anybody does this, but I saw it once actually on a TikTok, and I was like, I am doing that. So when we're brushing my kids' teeth, whenever we're done, I make them go, I am pretty, I am kind,
okay,
I am awesome. And then I'll encourage them to say one or two of their selves, something that they made up. So it's super fun, and it's something small I can do to combat, what's all the way around them anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I want to talk about specifically the boudoir photography as it relates to pregnancy specifically because, so for anybody that doesn't know, I actually did a session with Jennifer this pregnancy just some months ago, and it was a ton of fun, which is why we're doing this today because I highly recommend it. But I want to hear from you about, how, first of all, why would anyone want to consider doing this during pregnancy, and maybe like its specific role as far as what can this do for mamas that are struggling through a pregnancy, getting ready for motherhood, feeling maybe crazy about what their body is doing, and what role can a session like this have in their life?
Oh, great question. Okay, so let's dive in first to, I think that these moments that we have as pregnant, as fed up as we get in those last months, we're like, I feel like a cow. Yeah.
A walrus.
And I don't know about you, but I personally, when I was pregnant, especially my last, I was like, I am just so big. There's no way this is that cute little bump that I see on in those images, and I think the problem is that we just get so locked into the changes of our body, and we're like, oh, there's a little more there. There's a little more there. And I feel so big. And when I sit down, my legs have to spread because I have to hold this. And so there's all these little things that just are silent little triggers that tell us that our body's bigger, and bigger is always worse for us with our bodies.
Right. Interesting.
No one's like, oh, it's getting bigger. Yay.
Yeah.
Unless we're going for muscle, right?
Right.
And so I think that when you get to come and experience this, first of all, you get these really amazing images, but it's even more than that because this is such a, I want to say like not sensual. What's another word for it? It's more, it's, it's really special. It's really intimate. That's the word I want. It's a very intimate moment between your body and your spirit and that little human that you're growing inside of there.
Yeah.
Because it's a time in your life when you're literally holding life within you that's not your own. Like, how cool is that? Like, the woman body is incredible. So when you get these images and you get to once again, get that experience other women are getting, which is look at their body in a different light. You get to see that, you know what? Your bump may be different, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And it is perfectly round. It does look the way that it's supposed to look. And the rest of you look like a vessel, like this beautiful, divine motherhood image. And we can do so much with it,
Yeah.
It can be a really intimate, beautiful moment that you'll get to keep forever, and it'll outlast you. It'll outlast your children. It'll be something that everyone can look back on and look at the divinity of motherhood.
Yeah.
So, it's really special.
Yeah, I love that. And I can say just for myself, from my personal experience, it is such a unique way to celebrate the rite of passage, if you will, just the journey of pregnancy and motherhood. And I love, your philosophy when it comes to editing, as far as like, we're going to make these look amazing. All of your photos are amazing. They're gorgeous.
Yes.
So we're going to make this look amazing, but we're also going to make it look like you. We're not going to edit it to the hilt, so that it looks like somebody else or somebody that's not you. You have such a gift of taking women as they are and then putting them in their very best light, which is just wonderful. And I think that pregnancy, at any time of life, it's like that, women need that reminder. They need to see themselves in that light. And so I think it just touches, not just a photo on the wall and not just your body, but it really touches the way you see yourself and maybe even the way your family and your husband sees you. To be able to see yourself in this kind of a light. And that's a gift, that's really special.
You're making me tear up over here. I'm getting way emotional.
Well, no, it is. And I think that, tell me a little bit about, if you can, about how this type of experience and journey for somebody could impact like a history of trauma, say.
It is really big and really powerful. And this is something that means a lot to me. And I'll tell you why. Instinctively, we want to say, oh, that's may not be the best environment for them. But I would say that's wrong. And here's why. Because when you give someone the ability to step into their body in a sexual way that's on their own terms, you are giving her power back. This is my body, and I'm going to respect it the way that I want to respect it. And it's still beautiful despite the hands that touched it.
Yeah.
It is still worthy despite the people who tried to harm it. And so to get that moment of not only just like, I get my power back, but then to look back at their images and see that they're not gross. They're not dirty.
Yes.
They're not harmful, but that they're beautiful.
Right.
And that they're not only sexy, but they're like sexy in a classy, fun, beautiful way.
Yes.
You know? So for them to experience that, it does a lot. It does a lot. And I don't want to speak on it too much, because it's not my story to tell, but I can only speak from what I've seen, and it's done a lot.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. And, I love kind of what you said about just the difference in the mood and the mode of this type of photography that you create. This is for you as a gift to yourself, to your husband, perhaps, and your family. And, and it is classy, it's something that's very special. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, so for our audience in particular, we have a pretty conservative bunch of folks that listen. And I would consider myself to kind of be, in that same category. So, for women that just feel like that's not even on my radar, like that just sounds a little bit outlandish. Why would I want to be doing, this type of photography? What would you say to them as far as like, even if you are a conservative type of person, you're not feeling the need to be an exhibitionist or anything.
No worries.
Why would this be still worthwhile for you to consider?
And I love this question. So there's a couple parts to this.
Okay.
First, I think that just because we're conservative or modest doesn't mean we don't experience these same emotions and feelings that all these other women are experiencing and could benefit from.
Boom.
The other thing I want and the other thing I want to talk about is this doesn't have to be a public affair. I have many clients. Sometimes that's hard because I'll have a whole month of all private images.
Right.
But I have lots of clients that choose not to share their images. And I have a big philosophy on respecting privacy. So if you choose to keep your images private, you can do that. So that gives you a benefit in a couple ways. You're not having to be an exhibitionist.
Right.
And then that way you can keep the images for yourself or for your husband. And it's really just a girl's day. I do a full women-only experience. There is no male in sight. So, it's no more risque, I would say, than being in a locker room at the gym.
Or like even a doctor's appointment or something.
Oh, I would say it's way less than a doctor's
Exactly.
appointment.
No, I'm not thinking gynecologist here.
My mind went straight there.
No, it's nothing like that, people. No, but we have to put ourselves in this, in situations like that are uncomfortable for us for a whole host of other reasons. And this is like a totally positive, like great reason, to be doing something like this. And like you said, it is an all women team or just with you. It's a very intimate setting. It's not, like you're up on this stage on this set with for, cameras and lights every which way. It's nothing like that. So
and I do my very best. I've actually been mentored a lot on like how to create a comfortable space, like how to hold that space and to do that for so many different types of personalities and people, introverts, extroverts, trauma victims. So
that's so cool.
Creating a space that they can be comfortable to love their body. And the fact of the matter is we were naked. If the Bible, we were naked before. We
came into this world naked.
We came into this world naked. We're
going out naked.
We didn't have clothes for a while. So you get to experience that again and still maintain your modesty because we're not in front of anyone.
Right. Yeah. And having said that as well, this, your session is totally up to you when you book it. Like you don't have to do a purely naked photo. You can do a robe. You can do, a t-shirt and socks. You can do whatever you want. There's no rules here. So
I have, you get your level. I have very extensive questionnaires. You get to fill out a lot of information. You get to tell me the type of makeup you want, what your level of comfort is. Do I want nudity? Do I want no nudity? Do I want implied nude, which is where you like use the blanket, but you still have a bra on, but the way you're holding the blanket makes it look like there's no bra. That's my best example for that. So there's a lot that you can do there. I have some women that come in and wear a sweater the whole session, and they still come out gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Sweater and long socks. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's super cute.
It's so cute.
Oh, that's good. So the other thing, that's always a big hurdle for people, of course, is the investment, the price. So, I know what I would say to people, but what would you, and maybe I'll give my input here too, but what would you say if people are like, well, that maybe sounds cool, but that's just way too much of an investment for us right now. Because, especially for pregnancy, these are growing young families and everybody's got to stretch every which way, So, I know you have things about this on your website, but what can you tell our listeners about why it's worth it?
Well, let me just first say, girls, you are allowed to spend money on yourself.
Yeah, mamas, come on.
Stop putting back that special shirt you really want because you got to buy Johnny socks.
Yeah.
You can have both.
It's all going to work out.
So I just want to say that because I feel like as moms, a lot of times we actually feel guilty for buying things. And it's like, honey, You have to love you, because here, I'm going to bring it right back to the self-esteem thing again. If you do not choose to love yourself, then you are not teaching your children to love themselves. If you don't choose to buy that one thing for yourself, you're setting a standard that it's okay to deprive yourself. That's not okay. Love yourself. You can love yourself and provide at the same time. We may have to be strategic about it.
Right.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I offer payment plans. And my payment plans are really awesome because I like to set them to whatever budget. So some are longer, some are shorter, some are all up front. It really just depends. So getting over the hurdle of the payment plan is really a mindset thing. We have to remember this isn't just a one-time experience, you know? This isn't this is going to last longer than your vacation for 7 days. You guys,
yes, absolutely.
This is going to live forever. And those vacation pics you took, you're probably never going to look at them again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you come and you get an amazing experience like this, and you actually have products like a wall print or a little album that you can tuck away and keep safe that you can look at, you are going to look at that 10 times more than you're ever going to look at those vacation pics that you took
on your phone that you're never going to edit or anything.
Yes. And these images are not only professional, but like I said earlier, they will last forever. And they can set a standard that you are gorgeous, you are beautiful, and you'll get to feel that way. And then your daughters or granddaughters, you can show them the most modest of them all.
Right.
Just, we even do headshots.
Yeah.
So you could show like a headshot of, wow, she was stunning.
Yes, I love that.
Wow, I'm related to her. I'm allowed to be stunning too.
Yeah. Well, and really just that it is worth it for a mom to take this time out to, create this piece of artwork of herself.
You are art.
Yes,
that's the point.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Women are beautiful. Human beings are beautiful, and taking a moment to capture that in a way that you're going to enjoy looking at it for the rest of your life, I think really does actually capture a little piece of the divine, which I think is really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just say, guys, from my personal experience, totally 100% worth it. We couldn't be more pleased with the photos that we got, the images that we got.
She's private too.
I know. Sorry.
No worries. Just if you go looking, you're not going to find them.
Right. Oh, Johnny was like, "Are you taking those with you today?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." No, not really. But yeah, no, just totally worth it. The experience was amazing. It was so fun. And, I can't speak for other photographers in the area, if you choose to do this with somebody else, but the experience in general, I highly commend it to you. I don't think you will regret it. And, of course, specifically, I highly recommend Jennifer's business and the experience with her to all you mamas out there. Whether you're pregnant or postpartum or somewhere before or after, it's for all ages too. I don't think people think about that, but you have a broad range of ages that people that do this.
I think the youngest I shot one 20-year-old. The rest are pretty much 24 and up, but the oldest I've shot so far is 67.
Yeah, come on.
67-year-old. And I was like, yes, mama.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
And she was a hoot.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
And we had a really good time. We did extremely modest photos, and they were still phenomenal.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say, we didn't touch on.
Yeah, go for it.
There's another aspect to this. You can just do the session and just pay, the session price just to be there. And then not even buy if you hate them.
Okay, yeah.
If you don't like them, you don't have to buy them. I'm going to tell you this has never happened in the history of
me
being open. But just so you know, you have that added, you don't have to buy it if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've had women say, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid I'm not going to like them.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm not going to like them for me. Which really comes back to, I don't think I can look like those other girls.
Yes.
And it all comes all the way back down to how I see myself as opposed to everyone else. And this is why it's so healing, and I love it so much.
Yeah. And then, that's such a good point. I would say the people that need this the most are the people that probably are the most hesitant to consider doing
Absolutely.
it. Those are the people that are
Yeah.
going to be transformed and touched by this experience the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And I've had a few of those. I've had a few.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
One of my really favorite clients, she did a major weight loss. So, and we're talking, when there's major weight loss, we have extra skin.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, you cannot see that in those photos.
Mm.
And it's not because we're trying to hide it. It's just we are literally posing you and making you sit in lighting
Yes.
that is flattering.
Yeah.
It's looking at you. You ever take a group photo and you're like, I'm the not cute one in the group?
Oh, yeah. Like
that
last
has
night.
That has nothing to do with your face. You're positioned in the worst lighting of the group.
Yeah. Right.
Period.
That's good.
And if you
Thank you.
and if you don't believe that, take your phone and go over by a light source that's not directly above you but shines closer to the front of your face, and then take your phone camera, and lift it up just a little bit higher and tell me how your face looks. Does it look like it just did? It's not gonna, because it's lighting.
Good. I love that. I love that. That's a good reminder, people.
It's superficial. It's not because you're the ugly one in the group. It's because you literally got the short end of the stick when it came to lighting.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's so good. So yeah, I just highly commend this experience to people that are interested and intrigued by this, and people that aren't. Just give it a thought, people. Give it some meditation, and see if this is something that could bless you and your husband and your family, especially during that vulnerable, beautiful time of pregnancy.
Yeah.
So, tell people where they can find you online, where they can get in touch with you.
Okay, so there's a couple different places. You can go to www.bootybabe.org, and booty spelled like boudoir, Boudie.
Okay.
And there you can find out a lot of information. You can see some what I call everyday displays. I don't like before and after, because that's like saying before you weren't cute. I don't like that terminology.
Okay.
So it's everyday gal to I'm slaying.
Yeah.
To I am just absolutely rocking it today.
I love
so
that.
I like the everyday display. So you can see some of those and just, see some gals that way, and different body shapes too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we'll post all those on the screen and in the notes for you guys to find. And I know from being there and having read through all it that your website has a ton of information. So if you guys have more, interest or questions, you want to learn more about this process, most of your questions can probably be answered by going to the website.
Yeah. And if you want to, in a little more in depth, you can check out the blog. There's the About Me section if you want to know a little more about me. I'm really bad about talking about me. Like, what do you want to know? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm a mom, okay? I like making women feel good in their bodies. That's me.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Well, do you have any other thoughts while you're here? Anything else you'd like to leave with our listeners?
I would say that take the opportunity before the time has passed. And that should be something to live by, because we're not promised tomorrow. And when we love our bodies, we're not just doing it for ourselves. We're actually setting an example for those around us, especially if we have little minds. I promise you, they are not going to be traumatized by you loving yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that loving ourselves and holding that moment in time when we have a living life inside of us, and, creating these incredible images. I mean, not only do you get to love your moment of divinity and motherhood, you also are like, think of how your child's going to feel when they see this beautiful image of mama holding her belly while you're inside of it. How loved are you going to feel, right?
Yeah, that's so special.
Like, my mom felt so happy and so special and so connected to me. She wanted to honor this moment. How beautiful is that?
That's precious. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's so special. Thanks, Jennifer, so much for your time today.
Yeah.
And guys, check out the website. And for you pregnant mamas out there, give it some thought. Yeah, give it some thought. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of More About Birth, and we will catch you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
This podcast is intended for educational purposes only. For our full disclosure, please visit us at nc-midwifery.com and our podcast page. On behalf of Shannon and Angie, we thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing these podcasts.